I had 10 seconds to choose between saving my dying brother or staying with my 5-year-old daughter. My brother Mark had been addicted to pills for about 5 years. Those years were brutal for our family. Constant relapses, late night calls, the whole nightmare. One night my husband was out of town, and it was just me and my daughter Lily at home. Lily was 5 and incredibly sick. I'm talking 104-degree fever sick. It was around 2:30 in the morning. I was sitting in the dark beside her bed, putting cold washcloths on her forehead, just trying to get her fever down. Then my phone buzzed. It was Mark. And honestly, I almost ignored it, but I answered. And the second I picked up, I heard this awful wet gasping sound. Mark was panicking. He could barely get words out, but he managed to say he'd taken something that was probably laced, and he couldn't breathe. That's when my heart dropped. I immediately dialed 911 on my iPad while keeping Mark on the phone. But the dispatcher told me something I'll never forget. All ambulances were backed up. The fastest one could get there was maybe 30, maybe 40 minutes. Mark lived 10 minutes away. 10 minutes. I could get to him faster than any ambulance. But here was the problem. I couldn't just leave Lily. She was 5 years old, burning up with a fever, barely able to stand. And if I stayed with her, my brother was probably going to die alone on his kitchen floor. I had about 10 seconds to decide. And yeah, this is the part people judge me for. I picked Lily up out of bed, wrapped her in a heavy winter coat, and carried her to the car. She was crying, burning hot, barely awake. But I strapped her into the car seat and drove. Fast. I ran 3 red lights getting across town. The whole drive, she kept whimpering from the back seat. Every sound felt like someone stabbing my heart. But I kept going. When I got to Mark's apartment, the front door was already unlocked. I ran inside, and there he was, collapsed on the rug, his lips turning blue. I sprinted back to my car and grabbed the emergency Narcan I kept in my glove box. Then I ran back inside and used it on him. All while my violently sick 5-year-old was standing in the doorway, clutching her blanket, watching her uncle fight for his life. Eventually, Mark started breathing again. By the time the ambulance arrived, he was barely conscious, but alive. Later at the hospital, a doctor pulled me aside. He looked at me with pure disgust. He said bringing a severely sick child into a drug overdose situation was reckless and irresponsible. Those words destroyed me. For years, I carried this crushing guilt. I kept thinking maybe I traumatized my daughter just to save a brother who might relapse again anyway. But yesterday, something happened that changed everything. It was Mark's 3-year clean anniversary. We were having a small backyard barbecue to celebrate. While I was cleaning up plates, I saw Lily walk up to him with a handmade card. She's 8 now. Curious, I leaned over his shoulder to read it. It was a messy drawing of the 3 of us. Me, Mark, and Lily. And at the bottom, in her little crooked handwriting, it said, "Thank you for getting better, so mommy doesn't have to choose anymore." I thought I broke my daughter that night. Turns out, she understood exactly what we saved.